Hi, y'all. I am having a hard time with this, trying to get this zipper sewed in. I am having one heck of a hard time with it. I'm not good at this. I'm just not good at it. I have to check, make sure I didn't sew through something else over there. Okay. There's other women do it on the videos. I've watched a bunch of them, and they make it look so easy. And I just struggle. I just can't get it to mind me. Trying to go into one layer of fabric right here, and it wants to go through 10. It don't want to mind me. Now, come on. You got to constantly watch the thread so it don't knot up over there. I am just having one heck of a time. There ain't enough light in this place. There just ain't enough windows in this house. Come on, I have to check and make sure I didn't screw that up over there. Okay. This is a bag I made several days ago. It's real pretty. It looks really nice. So I wanted to be sure and put a zippered liner in it. I had another one of them nights last night where I was just itching like the devil. I was awake till probably 4:30 this morning because of the itching. Psoriasis. Look at my hands. I don't know if you can see it. I'm all scraped up. When it itches like that, it drives you insane. You can't keep from itching, scratching. And the doctor gave me some medicine that's supposed to help. It helps a little bit. But I have episodes, I don't know why, where it just tears me up. It just tears me up, itching. Torment. Let's see. I'm back stitching it. I do some back stitching on this to make sure it's going to hold, because my stitches are a lot longer than I want them to be because I'm having so much trouble with this. I'm having troubles. Oh man, I don't know about this. I just don't know about it. I guess I could go ahead and pin it right over here. Now the pin I want to use is going to be one of these. There's some thick layers there. Have to go into some thick layers right in there. This pin is too big for this. So I'm going to have to use it. Now, let's see. Well, I wonder how many people tried out my last video, the age test. That's not originally my idea, it's somebody else's idea. But it's accurate. It's accurate, I think, in my opinion. It's going to show you how old you really look. How much your skin's really sagging. But you know what? The older people get, the less they care about sagging skin and wrinkles and stuff. The older we get, the wiser and the calmer we get. Unless if somebody has an anxiety disorder, something like that. But otherwise, we mellow out and we calm down as we get older, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing. The things I used to worry about when I was young, just absolutely ridiculous. And I spent years and years worrying about those stupid things. Yeah. Years and years of my life and time wasted worrying about stupid things. Life is not, ouch! It's not about, life is not about looking great. It's not about physical beauty, and it's dang sure not about looking sexy. All this looking sexy crap is brainwashing from the media, and it's the Jezebel spirit. Ungodly Jezebel spirit. Don't believe it. Don't fall for it. That's not what God put us in the world for. There's people that have plastic surgeries, spend thousands of dollars. I don't know where they get all that money. But they spend thousands of dollars on plastic surgeries trying to attain a certain look. Like that's just so important. And they get old anyway, and then they die. And all of it was for nothing. Think about that. All of it was for nothing. They could have did some good in the world with all those thousands of dollars. They could have donated thousands of dollars to orphanages to help kids. They could have donated thousands of dollars to animal shelters and to nursing homes and things like that. But no, they squandered it on their looks. And now they're dead and gone, and their bodies, with all that plastic surgery is done on them, their bodies are laying in a grave somewhere, putrefying and rotting and looking horrible. So it was all for nothing. Ain't that something to think about? I think about things like that because it's true. It's true. If you know somebody in the neighborhood that's poor, go help them out. If you got thousands of dollars to squander, if it's burning a hole in your pocket, go to the poor parts of the neighborhood and help out the old people that can't help themselves. Help them pay their bills and stuff. That's what matters. Now I gotta scooch this down. Well, I got it around there, up to here. There. Keep on going with it, and we'll see how it turns out. We shall see. I know these videos I make are boring when I'm sitting and talking, but you know, I don't have anybody else to talk to throughout the day because my husband's gone working most of the time. And I just sit here by myself. And there's a senior citizens hall I'd like to go to. I know a couple of people that go there, and I'd love to go, but I'm just so shy about going places like that by myself. And I know it may sound silly. I'm sure it's silly to some people. But for me, it's like, all my life I've felt different and strange and very different from other people, and I felt like I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't fit in. I don't fit in with any group, anywhere. I'm a weirdo. As my dad told me one time, you're a weirdo. You're like me, you're a weirdo. And my dad he was that way. He was a very unpopular person. People didn't understand him. They took him for granted because he was a nice person. People would use him, take advantage of him, take him for granted. That's how they treated my daddy. And Dad would tell me, he said, you're weird, you're like me, you're a weirdo. Well, like daddy, like daughter. I'm a daddy's girl. I miss my dad, I miss him a lot. I miss him a lot. I don't mind telling you. I miss my daddy. I gotta cut this thread and put some more thread on. I can get a hold of it. Show you what I did. So here's my thing, it holds my hooks. If you crochet a can cover, it's very handy. You can stick things in the side of it like that. I stuck a crochet hook in there and then put my thread on there like that. So I can just pull it out. See, I can just pull out what I need right there. Pull out what I need. I wanted to put handles on this bag, but I don't know how it's going to work out. Because the zipper's going to be sewed right on the ends of it there. So I don't know. I might put a little something on there. We'll see. So far, all the bags I've made out of cotton. I mean, acrylic. I haven't made one out of cotton yet. But the acrylic tends to get fuzzy. And the more you handle it and use it, the fuzzier it gets. Unfortunately. I don't know why they can't spin it up to where it won't do that. I just don't understand why they can't. Here I am struggling with trying to make a knot, a decent knot. Okay. Well, it just came undone. Come on now. There. When I make a knot, I like to make a real genuine knot. It ain't gonna pull out. Well, here we go. Here we go back into it. Start down here. So I want to start down in there and go up that way. That way this knot is out of the way of everything. This knot is down here. And I'm going to start my stitching on up here. Get this needle to go up there where I need it to go. Somewhere there, come on. It's poking into something I don't want it poking into. There we go. Now, ain't it funny how when we're when we're young, we don't see or realize things that's right in front of us. Talking about my dad. People didn't understand him. And they took him for granted and all that stuff. Well, I didn't understand him either, even though I've always been a whole lot like him. And it wasn't till I got into my 50s that I began to understand. Now see, 50s, no, I was in my 40s. I began to understand a little bit about my dad. And it's just simple, but yet I couldn't see it for some reason. And I began to see things clear as day. Simple things that I didn't see before. And my dad is not somebody that it goes around complaining and, oh, nobody understands me. Not like that. No, he never was like that. He kept everything inside. He kept everything to himself. He didn't seek after pity. And he had philosophy about life. And he'd say life is what you make it. And, he had some good ideas, how to deal with life and how to make it through. And a lot of things that he said has helped me through a lot of times in life. I remember what Dad said, things that he would say. And it made a big, huge difference in my life. All the good advice and things that Dad, and little sayings of truth, little truthful sayings that he had, has helped me through life quite a bit. Dad was a lonely person. He was lonely as hell throughout his whole life. Misunderstood, took for granted, and lonely as hell. And that's how my life has been. Misunderstood, took for granted, lonely as hell. I wonder why some people has to go through life, like that. I wonder why. I wonder if God has some purpose for it. I don't know. But you know what's really neat is once in a blue moon, you'll meet somebody who is a kindred spirit. And they'll understand you, and they'll appreciate you, and they'll love you, and you'll love them, and you'll have a wonderful friendship. That don't happen very often. But once in a blue moon it does. Well, come on. I hope this is going to look decent. After all the time and work I've put in it already, I really hope this is going to look decent. Work out good. I miss my granny. She was a good old gal. I miss all the older women of the family. They're all gone. Except for there's 2 of them that's still around, but they're not. We're not exactly close. One of them, I'm better off not ever seeing her, or seeing as little of her as possible. She drives me insane. Okay. But I come from a long line of good women, good old gals. This is my morning coffee milk. I've always liked coffee with lots of milk in it. And one day I got to thinking, well, shoot, why don't I just put my coffee directly in milk? Well, so I just put a spoon of instant coffee in there and drink it cold. And it's good. Mm-hmm. Yep, my granny was a good old gal. My great aunts were good women. It was all good women. Christian people and good women. One of my great grandpas was a traveling evangelist. He traveled around with a horse and a carriage. He wasn't rich, but he had a horse and a carriage. He'd travel around and preach the gospel. Well, he got invited to preach at somebody's church one time, somewhere in the South, I don't remember where. And he was a French guy, by the way. He was French ancestry. And he met my grandma, my great-grandma. And at the church where he was invited to preach. Of course, they hit it off. She was the one. And they hit it off and got married. And he had to stop traveling after that because he was a married man after that. So, and then they had, let's see, they had 3 daughters. It was Granny. They had Granny, Glennis, Gracie, and Aunt Lieva. They had 4 daughters, and they had a son named George. I don't think I ever met Uncle George. And you know what's kind of strange is on my dad's side of the family, his mother had several sisters, and one brother. And their one brother was named George. Ain't that something? Funny little coinky-dinks like that. And my dad's, was it his grandpa or was it his great? Either his I think it was his great grandpa or his grandpa or great, one of them like that. But his name, his first two names was James William. James William Popinot. It's French. And name was James William. And my mother's daddy, his first two names were James William. How about that? Funny little coinky-dinks. I remember many years ago, my mom showed me a photograph of my great-grandpa Rose. His name was Forrest Rose. And I thought she was showing me a picture of my Uncle Evan. Look, my Uncle Evan looks exactly like Grandpa Rose. Ain't that funny how sometimes somebody will look exactly, and I don't like to exaggerate, so I'm not exaggerating. If she hadn't have told me that was Grandpa Rose, I would have thought that was Uncle Evan. I would have just swore that was Uncle Evan. Looked just like him, combed his hair just like him. It stood the way Evan always stood, the way he would stand, just exactly. And anyway, my mother's daddy was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. And I don't know where they met or how or where Granny was living at that time. I know there's some people that are in Brownwood, Texas. There's a lot of people there that are part Cherokee Indian. And it just makes me wonder if Granny might have lived there for a while. I don't know why I've always thought that somebody in our family lived in Brownwood, Texas many years ago, decades ago. I don't know why I've always thought that. Maybe Grandpa Rose did, and they had their kids, and that's where Granny met her first husband, who was Cherokee. I don't know. But everybody said he was a good man. He was a real good man. Everybody liked him a lot. And Granny she was pretty much happy with him. He treated her good. And they had 4 kids, and he was a good daddy, and all that, and everything was going just fine. And then one day, he fell over dead all of a sudden from a brain aneurysm. And there was Granny with 4 little kids. And it was in the Depression. Oh my, what was she going to do? Well, back in them days, people would help single people meet somebody. They just didn't leave you floating around out there by yourself. You know, people helped each other out. They'd try to help a woman meet a good guy. A good woman needs to meet a good guy. Well, I don't know just how good he actually was, but she married this other guy. And he was Irish. and he carried the Blarney Stone around under his arm. He didn't just kiss that Blarney Stone. He carried it around under his arm. He could talk some BS like you wouldn't believe. Granny was not happy with him. They didn't get along too good. But she was desperate and had 4 kids. And back then, it just things were a lot harder for women than they are now. I mean, things are still hard for single women. I know, because I was single until I met my husband 10 years ago. I know. It's hard for single women to make it in this world. Unless you manage to get some kind of a good paying job somehow or other. If you've got the smarts to work at, certain jobs where you can make money at. Otherwise, you're up the creek. I was up the creek. I had to work manual labor jobs. And that's why I have some disability going on here. That's why my back is fried. My lower back is fried. And I have arthritis so bad. When the weather's cold and damp, when I really hurt, but I have a lot of stiffness. But anyway, it's beside the point. The point is, if you're a woman, it's going to be hard for you to make it in this world. Granny, she married him out of desperation. And they had 4 more kids. She had 4 more kids. A couple of the kids she had for him are nuttier than 10,000 fruitcakes. Nuttier than 10,000 fruitcakes. See if I can get this to do right on the end here. I only got one side of it sewed down. That looks okay. Now I've got to try to get it sewed down right over here somehow. Not easy. See this thing here, it's a mess. I've got to try to get this to do somehow. Not easy, because it's going to wad up a little bit over here. I don't know why it wants to wad up, but it does. I'm going to have to go ahead and pin it on this side where it's wadding up. Get one of these other pins. Well, this video's 35 minutes long now. I guess I'll cut it off for now. I just wanted to visit with you a while. I'll show you my bag when I get it all done. I'll see y'all later. Bye.